Many a times people ask, how do you make a good presentation? So this video is focused on the top 10 tips for making a good presentation. Let's move to tip number 1. Using more images and less text. People forget that the presenter and his content are key for any session, and the slides that you prepare are only an add-on. So you have to avoid text-heavy slides which will not engage the audience. Adding an image helps, but keeping the message very concise and with images is recommended and more meaningful. Tip number 2 is using simple animations. Many a times we include a lot of graphics in our slides and add animation to it, and this animation takes a long time and it may be a big irritant for the audience. So try to avoid too much animation and delays and use simple animations like this in your presentation. Tip number 3 is using images. It's always very good to have images in your presentation, but the choice of images and how we want to use it is the key. If it is going to be the title slide, you need to have a high quality image so that the focus is on the image more than on the text. However, when it comes to the actual content, the image can be of low quality as it is going to be in the background and the text needs to be highlighted. Try to avoid images which really does not fit into the slide or which is of poor resolution and which is like a block. Avoid this kind of scenarios, but generally using a high quality image which does not disturb the eye makes the slide more meaningful and it is liked by the audience. Let's move to tip number 4, which is using graphs. Rather than just showing content in the form of tables and number and data, any audience will be able to interpret the information that you are sharing when you start using graphs. It makes the presentation more meaningful and the information grasp is very effective. Tip number 5 is using colors. The choice of colors that you use on your presentation is key. It should not hurt the eyes. Try to avoid colors which reflect a particular mood or an emotion specific to that particular geography that you are in. As mentioned here, the studies show that color usage can increase the interest of the audience. For example, if you are in a dark room, dark background is still okay, but if you are in a bright room, a dark background may not go well. So you need to also understand where you will be presenting this session, and then also understand how formal or informal it is going to be, and you have to decide on the choice of colors based on that. Let's move to tip number 6. This is your choice of fonts. One is the selection of fonts, and then second is the selection of the size, and third is the selection of the case of the fonts. For example, if you have everything in uppercase shown as in this particular slide, using complete uppercase actually makes the slide difficult to read. Similarly, the choice of wrong fonts may make it very difficult to read. So pick the fonts that are very easy to read for the eyes and keep it in sentence case as shown in the bottom. So that messaging will be very easy to read for any audience, and that is what is recommended. Tip number 7 is using media. So using audio and video in your presentation is definitely a good idea, but try to avoid special sound effects to trying to impress the audience. It does not really go well. And if you are going to use video, always remember that if you are going to use video links, you need to ensure that you have your internet at the location of your session and you test it before you start your presentation. You should be sure that the links are working, otherwise you avoid links, and you can embed videos, but take into mind that embedding videos may increase your file size, so the portability may be very limited. Tip number 8 is arranging. So whenever you have content in the slides, one of the common mistakes is the alignment of the information and images and resizing that people try to do. So the one on the left is definitely a scenario that you would want to avoid. So alignment of bullet points, list, and then trying to adjust photographs with a free hand is definitely not recommended. So if you want to align a picture to fit inside a particular box, don't do it freehand. Press the shift key and then use the mouse to drag the size of the image so that the perspective is maintained. The ratio has to be maintained for the length and breadth. So the one on the right will give you a better presentation and ease to the audience when they read the content. Tip number 9 is using slide sorter. After you have completed building your PowerPoint slides, it's a good idea to actually go to the slide sorter mode in your PowerPoint and check how the flow is. So for this particular presentation that I am making, this is how the slide sorter mode will look like. And I can actually go through what I am going to be presenting. Is the flow good? And if I need to rearrange the slides, I can just drag and drop and rearrange. The most important tip, keep it simple. You have to understand that presenter is more important than the slides. Have less clutter in your slides and have more impact with your audience. All the best. Don't forget to give your feedback about this video in the comment section below. Subscribe to my channel and click on the bell icon to get instant notification of my new videos. Thanks for watching.